Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the speakerfocus.com Monday Q&A call. We are happy to bring it to you live and direct every single Monday on the speakerfocus.com platform, where we tackle the tough challenges and questions about growing your speaker brand, from messaging to branding to marketing to sales funnel management to having the right kind of sales tools and anything else that you are struggling with or need questions answering. It's nice to always know that me and Auston are always here to answer those tough questions, or you can always submit a support ticket. I want to start off with this Q&A session today. And on behalf of the entire production team at speakerfocus.com that were on site at the first ever Speaker Focus exclusive showcase, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to give a big mic salute to everybody who participated, because it was one that was very hard to put into words, but it was one that was something to remember. So I can tell you this. The thing that I thought about the most out of the showcase as we were debriefing and as I was just relaxing over the weekend, just really gathering myself, because like all of you, I was extra tired. So I had this thing going in my head all weekend long, and that is believing in the purpose of your messaging. Let me say that to you again, believing in the purpose of your messaging. Because what I believe we accomplished at the showcase was that you saw a wide variety of speakers that we had, some of the best subject matter experts in the world. One thing I started out the showcase by saying is that it didn't have to be perfect, and it wasn't. So there's always a way for you to look at what you could do better next time. We've already evaluated that with our staff and our team, especially the people that were on the production squad who did an amazing job. I want to just say that I felt great because people believe in the purpose of their messaging. No matter how you felt that you did, in post-production, we're going to find out exactly how you did, because the video doesn't lie, no matter what angle that you took it from. But I just felt great about the performance that all of you put forth. And I felt great about the effort of not only you who participated, but also people in the audience who showed up, and also people from the production team. So remember this as we continue to move forward with this Q&A. Obviously, anybody who showcased, I definitely want to hear any feedback that you have. I want to know, obviously, about your wins, anybody who was in the marketplace, booking, speaking engagements. If the system and the mechanism that we've created is working for you, obviously, we want to know about that. I want to know about any other questions. Remember, this is the platform where we engage with you every Monday to deal with the difficult questions. Typically, you don't have that on a coaching platform. They just kind of leave you out there by yourself to figure it out. What I learned firsthand personally, every level that I was able to ascend in the speaking industry, it required new marketing skills. And in this era, the biggest challenge I see, especially with people who are old school like me, they simply don't understand how to attract those leads on a consistent basis. And something isn't clicking up here with a lot of you, because you just haven't had enough experience being on the platform. Maybe you haven't listened to the modules, and then it hits you in a different way that makes you light a fire under your ass to say, you know what? It's time for me to really take this thing to another level. Maybe you don't have enough performance pressure surrounding you on your job, with family. Maybe some of you are too comfortable. I don't know. I found myself that way a lot in my career. I started making money. It appears that everything's going swell and I got no troubles. I'm in a groove. I'm in a flow. I mean, shit, money's flowing. I got a great relationship with my family. Everything's going. When everything's going real good, I suggest you lean around the corner and take a peek, because there's always something coming, whether or not you're ready for it or not. So just because we had a great showcase, we got to go into post-production mode right now, making sure we spend a lot of time, money, effort, and energy and making sure that everyone has their footage. So we have to go through, I'm talking hours and hours of footage to capture you at your best And we are putting together a plan to do that right now. So before you start bombarding me with emails, I'm going to send out a couple production emails tomorrow morning, letting you know when you can expect your pictures. We have a lot to organize. When you can expect your pictures, your raw video footage, and also a edited version, which we guaranteed you we were going to deliver to you, and we're going to do that and more. Now, if anybody has any questions that they would like to ask me, maybe we want to get those questions out of the way for people who were not at the showcase. Because I'm telling you right now, when people start sharing what happened at the showcase, I'm not going to say anything. When they start talking about the showcase, maybe that's going to take up all of the time. But if you got some questions you want to get in between those comments and what you have, by all means, raise your hand. You know what the drill is. If you have a question, use the raise hand feature. We're going to start out with Samantha T. Mitchell. Samantha, how are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you, KTR?
You know, I'm feeling really, really relaxed. You know, I've never been a drug taker. I've never smoked weed before. I know a lot of my business associates, they have to do it just to chill out. But I feel very relaxed today because I had a really relaxing weekend because I needed to decompress. So I feel really, really relaxed. And by the way, Sam, just a quick health check-in. I did make my weight 215 by the showcase. Showcase.
Hey.
Yeah, hey, Sam. Showcase week snatched another 3 pounds just because of the stress. So I was grateful for that. You know, I turned it into a positive. But when I showed up, I think a day before the showcase, I weighed right at 215 the day of the showcase. I think I weighed myself the morning before. The day before I checked into my room. So I did make weight, and I feel really, really good on the inside. I'm sleeping better than ever. So yeah, I'm on track now. Sam, just to let you know, when the other showcase occurs, January 5th and the 6th, we're gonna have to make that a 2-day event, maybe 2.5-day event instead of a 1-day, because we have more speakers and we got a bigger room and it's gonna be a bunch of stuff. So my goal by January 6th is to be at 200. So that's another 15 pounds that I plan on losing by January the 6th.
That's totally doable.
Yep. Yeah, it's doable. Yep.
Realistic. Yep. It's realistic. I like it.
Realistic. Yeah, that's 5 pounds in 30 days. I've done more than that, but Sam, as you know, the first 10 is like real easy. That's just like water weight, moving some molecules around. When you start eating less, the other 10 was more difficult. But when you get into that last 25 or that last 30 you got to lose, it just gets harder and harder. And that's a whole nother challenge, but I'm just taking it one day at a time. We said we were going to check in on Monday. That's my health check. I just wanted to, make sure you're my accountability partner. So I wanted to make sure I checked in with you.
Well, thanks for not letting me press you for that. Because yes, that is always on my list of weekly check-ins. So I celebrate your success and I look forward to your future success.
Well, thank you.
So I know you said you wanted to ask questions first, but I just have to for those who were there, they know. For those who were not at Showcase was a movie, y'all. I mean, just the whole experience, the production team. For those who were not there, hashtag Auston is a real person. Where's he at? Auston, where you at? You said you was coming through. Like. Now I'm starting to question if it was really Auston, y'all.
It was a stand-in.
Right? Bernice checked his ID. So if that was the case, they went all the way through with like their credentials to make sure everything was in alignment.
Yeah.
But the whole experience was phenomenal. One of the things that I took away for me personally was messaging. I struggled. I'm still working my way through with clarity on what exactly I want to capture. And to be honest, I had a whole plan for a showcase and then I released it. And in releasing it and being in the room, because we get to listen to just to all the other speakers, and I released it, and in listening to the other speakers, I actually created my signature keynote like in that moment. And then that was what I shared. but it wasn't what I planned. And I think for me as I tend to overthink things, trying to build in the whole like signature programs and how to fit that in with it. But really it just comes down to like you and your authentic self. And it took me a while people keep telling me, but like I gotta feel it for myself. And I was really glad that I was able to release the control and to be able to give it the way that I give it. And then just the support. I think community is really, really important. Community is connection. I was able, you guys, because of the webinar format, I don't know who's behind the screens and y'all can't see my head pinned up, all that good stuff. But to see you in person was just, it was really, really nice to make the connection with the faces. So that was a pleasure. And then just the support from person to person throughout the whole event. It was just phenomenal. And then we got to see KTR in coaching mode, right? Because we're all at different levels in this journey. And sometimes as a coach, you're going to have to work harder than others. And you've got to be poised in position to be able to do that. And so I saw KTR in coaching mode, and like, when it's like if you're at a boxing match and like that person just, they're struggling and you never know what that person is in the corner, their coach whispering in their ear, and then they just come through and they just finish strong. It's kind of like that. And so I got to experience that firsthand. And I just want to say great job, KTR, for being able to coach us through that whole thing, because for some it's more nerve-wracking than others.
Right. That's a great point.
Yeah. And then my question is, so as you guys go through all the production, all that kind of stuff, so not a specific question on turnaround times and all that, but you never really know what you did, because there's the speech you wrote, the speech you gave, and like what you think you gave, and they're never in alignment. And I actually got my husband recorded mine, so I got to see it, because I honestly didn't really know what I said, because like I said, I surrendered. And in watching it, I was like, wow, I did better than I thought in my head. And so it's really important to watch yourself do the work. But then I was like, well, KTR is not all high. He high fives us, but at the same time, there's levels to this. So are you giving us feedback on our individual presentations that we shared?
Sure. I mean, I can now, or I was going to send out a individual assessment. It wasn't like, where it was going to be super long. I just had some maybe things that everyone can improve on, including the production team and myself. So, without really trying to, be too hard on yourself, Showcase hit everybody a little bit different. And that's the reason why I'm glad we formulated the talent. And I put you all in order the way I did for a reason. And because I know what you're capable of. I know what kind of speakers you are. I know where your limitations are. I know where your strengths are. And that's what a good coach and a good leader does. He knows how to put people in position to win and put them in the best position. Sam, before I go into some other things about Showcase and performance, because we need to discuss this, and I like your line of questioning to open up this Q&A, because I tell you, let's go to something else that you said. You said you had to release, like you just had to let go. What did you mean by that? Because there's a lot of people, Sam, that are really holding on to their belief about what kind of speaker that they want to be, how they feel things should be done. I deal with the best subject matter experts in the world like yourself every single day. And many people are just holding on way too tight to their belief. Sometimes it's limited. And if you don't let go of that belief, it makes it difficult for what you're stepping into to do its job. That means the showcase to do its job. That means everything I had to tell you prior to the showcase. So tell me, walk us through that, because maybe you're not the only one who's holding on real tight, who doesn't want to let go. But and then explain it to me why you were holding on. Then explain to me how it felt when you did let go.
Okay, so just full transparency. I know, like I've I've been aware of my inability to surrender. And I think it was back in May that I went to an event. And if I took nothing away from that event, it was to surrender. And there was a prayer that I've adopted and I've incorporated into my lifestyle pretty much daily because the words just really flow well for me. And part of preparing for the showcase, because I'm type A personality and I wanted it a certain way because I know that people could edit things, but it's like a canvas. If you don't start with a good baseline, there's only so much that people could do. Like they're not going to make you like amazing if you're not even, if you don't have a solid foundation. So I knew it was really important to focus on what it was that I wanted to say. And like I went to the point where like I wrote it all out. I wrote it all out. I was saying it to myself, all that kind of stuff, which is overkill. I mean, I would not write it all out again. Outlines are important because you never stick to what you write out. Down to the night before showcase, I was in my room with my accountability partners and we shared our keynotes and what I shared that night, which they were like, that was good. It wasn't what I shared when I was on stage. And I told myself that I wasn't gonna over practice because I just had to tell myself that I had everything already. And I had to really start believing it. And believe it or not, like I really struggle with believing that I already have everything. And so when you don't believe it, it makes you do all these other things. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't prepare, but it comes down to preparing, but also having the belief that you have everything you need in order to make those connections, to really just position yourself to do really well. And so that was just something that I saw that I needed to do. And while sitting in the room, I think it was Mike that was talking, and I don't even remember what he said, but it like clicked to me. And when it clicked to me, I was like, you know what? I just have to go with the flow. I have some framework in place, but in order for this to be more authentic, and I think that's what it is, when we speak from a place of authenticity, there is no right or wrong because it's our truth. And so that's where I had to reposition my mindset because I was just trying to, there's a joke, I don't even know if she's on, but like that I'm a robot because sometimes I could come off as robotic because like I need inputs and outputs. But when I did it, I kind of removed myself from that. And I'll share this with you too, because you didn't really even know this either. So I did a brief recap of my story the next day when I was at the other event. And that was like doing it at Showcase and figuring out what that message was. It really prepared me to share the story, but then not just share it, but for others to peel it back and really to come to the root of like why my brain operates the way that it does. Like I spoke about validation, like they pulled me all the way back to like, why do I care about all this validation and the root of the validation? And really the biggest takeaway from that was like, in order for me to truly be able to connect with everyone, I have to release all that I'm holding on to. So even though I say that I'm surrendering, there's so much more that I have to do as a person, just with other things that I'm holding on to and whatever trauma is embedded in my head.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you were able to say that. It takes a lot of guts to be able to recognize that that's where you are, because a lot of us control freaks. I'm just gonna say that that's what it is, very jokingly, but it's real. A lot of times when you're the CEO, you're the boss, you have a high profile position, you are in domination mode and you got to kick some ass in order to get some stuff done. And, whether or not you're in a supervisory or managerial capacity or you're a C-suite executive, these are power positions that we find ourselves in that make it difficult to let go. And sometimes we hold on to our limited beliefs so tight. It's not that what we're believing is wrong. It's not that. It's just that what we believe in, we don't know what's on the other side because we won't let go. And the only way to find out what you're capable of at Showcase is to show up at Showcase. The only way you're capable of finding out what you can do the next day at your mastermind is to step into it and just deal with it when you get there. But letting go. For those of you who are holding on too tight, because I've been there with you before, but let me tell you something. When you're feeling it in your gut and you realize, remember, all of you, believe in the purpose of your messaging. Believe in the purpose of your messaging. Let me say it one more time. Believe in the purpose of your messaging. Because if you start from there, then you're not going to be afraid to take the next step. Sometimes the reason why we don't want to let go is because we realize that if we do let go and listen to somebody else or step into this other arena, that it's going to make us feel uncomfortable. And we want to feel comfortable. We've busted our ass to get to this point, and we were like, damn, can I just get a second to catch my breath? Can I at least feel comfortable right here before you start pushing me into something else? Well, it's always perpetual motion is always going on. You always got to be thinking fast forward. You always are going to be thrusted into a position that you really don't want to be in, and you just have to be prepared. Now, but what it does is when you actually get there, Sam, it's all retro. Because I know you heard me in your head talking about, damn, this is why KTR was talking about big stage performance, working a big stage, working a medium-sized stage, working a big stage with the Jumbotron screens. Intonation, resonance, pitch, accuracy, height, cadence. Maybe now some of you will go back to module number 1 and you'll understand why I put in there the mechanics of communication, because I saw it all. I saw the nerves on some of your faces. I saw the nerves go away on some of your faces. I saw some of you get lost and you found your way back. That's all coaching. That's all because I've been on your ass with a template that I know what you're supposed to be doing because I've been in these situations before. You cannot simulate being on stage, practicing in the mirror at home. You have to be on stage. So what happens, Sam, is you learn something about yourself. And it's nothing wrong with us getting exposed. See, we don't want to feel embarrassed. We don't want to get exposed. But Showcase exposed a lot of you. It showed you what you weren't, and it showed you what you were. So now what you got to do is you got to take the things where you had limitations, deficiencies, some challenges. I know you weren't expecting all of that. I know you weren't expecting me to deliver all of that. But it is what it is. But I guarantee you this, the next time you step in an event and it has that big feel like that, a lot of you are going to be ready. Because when you've been around it one time and you saw the way somebody managed it like I did one time, I've done this stuff thousands of times with my eyes closed. That's why it was easier for me. But for a lot of you, that was your first time. So step into it. Let go of it. Step into it because you're growing. And growing is a good thing. Sam, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Do you want your feedback in the email or do you want it now?
I'll take it now. Might benefit somebody else.
Okay, no problem. Again, the bravery on this woman is amazing. Sam, I love that about you, that you don't have no fear. And also, well, when it comes to the criticism, you and I, we're exactly the same. Like Sam, I use the Kevin Hart approach. Like there's nothing somebody else could say about me that I haven't at least thought about myself or I haven't even heard before. See, I've heard cocky, arrogant, bragful, boastful, all of this stuff. He thinks he knows it all. I've heard all of that stuff. There's nothing that you can say to me where I'm going to condemn myself. So I like the fact that you know who you are. So let's start with Sam's performance. So I did not know that Sam was going to find her messaging on that stage, but I'm not surprised that she had that kind of experience where she just kind of let it happen. It was like one of those aha moments. And then she just kind of stepped into, I could feel it when it happened, because it was almost like you were having an out of body experience and you kind of lost your way. And then all of a sudden you found it. And then when you found it, it turned into something totally different. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It turned into something different. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but I like where she went with it. I do like the fact that whatever you had planned, And maybe you plan on delivering something different, but it came out in a different way that you didn't freak out about that. I did see that physically, like on your face, that it was like you were thinking about it real hard. You was holding on real tight. And I'm talking about at the end, when I actually got on stage with you, I was hoping to see that look of relief on your face, like, oh, it's over. Now we can get into the Q&A, but you were still just a little bit intense. I just noticed that. Maybe the audience didn't notice it, but I noticed it. It was almost like your nerves were still a little bit bad. Not bad in such a sense where you couldn't deliver, but just, I don't know, emotions were running rampant, Sam. So you tell me what it was. Like I'm talking about when you finished speaking and you and I were on stage, I noticed that you were just, it looked like you were getting emotional. So what was that about?
So when I finished speaking, I felt the release because I was done. So I was like, anything else, I could get through a Q&A because that's just me answering the questions. But for me, I'm thinking about the logical flow of how a presentation goes without any cue cards or prompters or whatever.
Right.
But I don't think I was still like, I don't know. I don't think I looked nervous afterwards. I don't know what I look like, but I didn't feel like that. I didn't really feel nervous after I started. Like the nerves were there as I was like, it's always there in the beginning and then you release it. And I think what I did was when I had everybody stand up and then I got into my normal mode of what I would just do, then that just broke me down to where I started feeling comfortable and like I commanded the room again because I didn't feel like I had the room. So I had to do something to allow me to command the room.
Good. Okay, well, that was evident. So, I mean, these are just my observations. I could have been reading something wrong with your micro expressions because I study this kind of stuff all the time. I just saw something maybe for a couple of seconds and then it went away. So I'm not saying you were like that the entire time. So overall, I believe that you did it. You spoke exactly to what how I expected you to speak. You delivered as a subject matter expert. You had command over your content. The presentation was loose, but your transitions could have been a little bit smoother, maybe one or two of them. But for the most part, I didn't have a problem with your presentation. So I like the fact that you were engaged with the audience. I like the fact that you took your time. It didn't sound like it was rushed. It sounded polished, poised, and professional. Everything I've been telling you that I wanted you to do up to this point, that's what you delivered in the presentation. So I also know that was your first time delivering that message in that way. So good for you because you got some content that you never got before. And that's exactly what we wanted to achieve because I know that was a concern of yours prior to showcase. You looked amazing. You had an outfit change. I like the fact that you understand the theatricality of a production and you understand what FaceTime is all about. So you had an outfit change for the red carpet. And that was great. So now you have, two different looks. And a lot of people were wondering, well, KTR changes his clothes a lot. Like this is a question that I get. I've gotten this a lot in my career. Well, remember, I'm an entertainer. So anytime we have 4 sets of speakers, so I have 4 wardrobe changes. And I know everybody was surprised every time they saw me come back on stage when the next set was getting ready to start. Whenever I had a break, I would just change my wardrobe. And they were like, wow, I heard a gasp coming from the audience. And it's like, hey, that's my job is to keep you off balance a little bit. You don't know what to expect. Oh yeah, everybody, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna wear. No, because I wanted to be spontaneous. So I liked everything about your presentation. The only other thing I would say is that now let's address what you could get more of a hold on the next time. So if you start out with a presentation, you should really try in your best interest to deliver value. You should try to stick, if you got 3 bullets that you want to deliver around take flight, you should stick to the 3 flight take bullets. You should stick to that. So when you lose your messaging, and this happens a lot to speakers, they come in with a plan and all of a sudden they lose their shit. Now you got to wing it the rest of the time Now, good for you, Sam, is you're a good enough speaker where you can do that. Some people, when they lose their place, they totally have a breakdown. And we saw a couple breakdowns at Showcase, but that's okay. You're in a controlled, taped environment. But when you are with a meeting planner and they're paying you $5,000 plus, they don't want to hear, I got to stop, or let me find my place. No, you're supposed to be a constant professional. So if you make a mistake, the audience is not supposed to know that you made the mistake. Sam, the only thing I would say is, if you ever showcase again and you only have 10 minutes, I would say just make sure you have a game plan. Take the sound bites of what you did very, very well, along with some other things from your signature programs, maybe that you didn't address, and then recraft the messaging, practice on it prior to, but don't overthink it. What I always, I take the approach like I heard Tupac say when he was alive. So when Tupac was acting or reading the script, after he finished with the table read with the other actors, when the director said action, he would get it in one take, because he felt like if he had to do 2 or 3 takes, then his performance would start being diluted. And he would try to get, that's how he operated when he was in the studio as well. I come from that era where you had to actually be good live, whether or not I was on stage rapping, producing music, whatever the case is. So when I was in the studio as a recording artist at 16, I learned how to get things in one take. You know what that meant? That meant me practicing on my rhymes before I went into the studio, because studio time costs what? Money. Whenever I was on a video shoot, video shoot costs money. When I was on a movie set, 16, 18 hours a day, that costs money to have them cameras and all that equipment and stuff out there. So everyone has to be ready. And I've always seen other professionals where they're practicing their asses off. So when they got to perform for 2 minutes, that's nothing for a 2-minute scene, running down 5, 6, 10 pages of dialogue. That's nothing, because they sit up and read lines for hours. That's what I would say. The core of your messaging needs to be like the core of my messaging is always 5 steps, 5 keys to staying focused, 5 steps to being more focused, whatever it is. So I have an acronym that I create. I got like literally 200 different ways that I can spell focus. It all depends on the event that I'm going to. So I know that before I leave, I'm gonna leave you with 5 things. Always, I'm just gonna modify the messaging based upon what the event theme goals are, and then I'm gonna customize that messaging based upon the people that I have in the audience. Now, last but not least, Sam, and take this with you, I always leave something in my messaging where I can have a loose feel. I always leave somewhere where I can pivot, where I can throw something in there on the fly that I see from the audience. See, excuse me, in my mind, I'm thinking, I know where I am in my presentation, and I may be on the C. I've already delivered the F, the O, now I'm on the C. But I see this guy over here stage left, and he looks like he's still not a believer. He's still looking at me like I don't know my shit. Now, something would just pop up into my head and say, I'm gonna make an example out of this asshole sitting in the front row. And then I will just take some energy, and then I will over deliver for that guy right there, because I'm feeling something from him, until I see his face change, and I jump right back into my presentation and finish it up. Now, you got to have a lot of skill to be able to do that, but I do it all the time. So I always leave room. I have a formula that I follow. I have my 5 steps, but I am going to fit in a story, pull something from the energy of the audience so I can make it more real for the people that are there. What I did at this showcase, you won't see me do at the next showcase, because as you see, I have my head on the swivel all day long. I'm constantly directing and producing. Forget about being the speaker or the host, because you got a chance, all of you got a chance to see the real KTR, the real Kevin T. Robertson on display, because I had to pull out every single thing in my repertoire at that showcase. I had to host, I had to be a business partner, I had to be a business associate, I had to be the subject matter expert, I had to be the specialist, I had to be the director, sometimes I had to be the producer, sometimes I had to be the stage manager, I had to keep control of time, I was like an orchestra conductor. I made it look easy, but it's not. That's because I have the repetitions in. Now, Sam, is there anything about because I want to ask everybody this, because everybody has a different take. Is there something that you notice about, and then I'll be right with you, Brian Rehorn, Eileen, and Roger, I do see your hands up. Thank you so much for your patience. Sam, is there anything about my performance that you noticed that you wanted to make comment on, where you just, from an observational standpoint, it just made you go, I didn't know that, or you learned something? Talk to me about that before you get out of here.
I learned that you were human. And I say that with the utmost respect, because I think I shared it with you, but when I deal with you based off of our first interaction, like I hold you in high regard with a capability to deliver. So when I press you, it's because you created that standard for yourself. So I took away the human factor from you, but to be quite frank, at Showcase, you reminded me that you're human too, and that it's okay for me to be human, because oftentimes I'm robotic. Yeah, you heard it, robotic. So just being able to pivot out of that mode and to really, because it's the connection, and people connect with you when you're human, because we're all humans at the end of the day. And to just be there and be your best strong self, everyone can't relate to that, because that's not how they show up. That's it.
Well, I'm glad that you noticed that about me. And a lot of people don't look at me. It's easy to get that misconception, and we're gonna roll over to Brian. But as we're wrapping up with Sam's comment, it's easy to get that perception because we do things all online, and the pandemic has just pushed us farther apart from each other. So it was just so nice to be in the room with all of you, and I'm glad everybody got back home safe. And no one's reported that they got sick or anything like that, or anybody got COVID, and I'm hoping nobody does get it. But it was just really nice to be in the room and hugging everybody and showing love and respect for each other. Yeah, because Sam, a lot of people really don't see me as human. They just look at me as these three initials, and I know I'm like super intense and I go hard, but I hope that gives you more insight, seeing how I perform and all the different ways in which I showed you what it takes to be a consummate professional in this industry. Because as you can see, I take a lot of pride in it. It means something to me. And it means something to me that all of you gain something, not so much the title and the position that I hold, like I want you to kiss my ring. No, I work hard to get these skills. And any speaker that does it on a high level, I can't tell you how many celebrity events that I've been to where I've seen the host of the event keep that energy high throughout the entire event. That is a skill. The reason why they want Chris Rock to host the Oscars, because not everybody knows how to do that. Not everybody knows how to keep the energy high and keep you laughing. Also read from the prompter. These are all skills. I remember when Bill Bellamy first started on MTV, he was horrible at reading the teleprompter. He was horrible, but he was real hip hop. He was real fresh. They knew so they worked with him, and he ended up getting better. When I first started on public access, I was horrible reading the prompter. But you saw me when I did everybody's intro. That's a different kind of KTR that you got. When I did when I read from the prompter, when I read the bio from the prompter, that was a different kind. When I did my heartfelt thing the relationship that I had with each speaker, that was a different kind of KTR. So it's important that you show people different sides of you, and all of it is under the banner of being a professional communicator. And why do you think I say y'all better understand what I'm telling you right now? Why do you think I deliver the information so hard sometimes? Because eventually, when they count your ass down and it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that spotlight hits you, I want you to be ready. So, like I said, Showcase, it brought out everything in everybody, and you just gotta be willing to just go hard and just get better. Brian Rehorn, who's showcasing with us coming up in January. Brian, what's your question or comment this evening for myself?
I was tickled pink waiting for this call tonight. I just couldn't wait to hear what had happened. It was like I was almost there,
My phone's been going crazy all day, Brian.
My question, then my comment. The question is, after all the post-production is done, is it going to be lumped into one where the rest of us could take a look at it?
Well, those are things that we're gonna.
If it's prioritized, you know, and it's proprietary, you know, I understand that, but I would just like to experience the whole thing and to see what I can learn from it and pick up.
Oh yeah,
if it's possible.
Yeah, no. Well, I think that's a great idea from a production standpoint. I'd like to get Austin's take on that as well. Perhaps we can make it available, some of the select clips, and put it on the platform just for the students, because, oh, Brian, it was so many things that happened at Showcase where we definitely want it to be accessible to the rest of the students. It will help other people that's going to be showcasing in the future, because we're going to make this thing, it just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Austin, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and something we'll discuss. I don't, you know, we want to obviously get our customers' opinions on it, that we're there and presenting, and do what's best for the customer. If they prefer to keep it private, then we'll probably keep them private. But yeah, we'll discuss that for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, Brian, we're gonna have multiple post-production meetings, and you know, because there's gonna be a template, and then that we're gonna set up for the showcase. Obviously, the intro, you know, perhaps the speaker's logo, the lower thirds, title of their signature program, closing, things of that nature. And then we're gonna have, you know, access to everybody should have access to their raw footage in case you want to take clips from the raw footage and you want to take that. Obviously, we're going to give you that footage because you might want to, we're going to give you an edited version. Then you might want to take your raw footage and utilize it in some other kind of reel that you want to put together. So yeah, I mean, this is what this whole platform is built upon, is sharing and nonstop learning and continuous education. So from that standpoint, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. Did you have another question or comment?
My comment is, like I said, I was tickled pink waiting for this. As soon as it came up, you opened up the room, just the background, the way you're dressed, the way you're sitting there. That's not you. You always have something going in the back. You were chilled. You were just like gently rowing your boat down the stream.
Yeah. I'm in a different kind of energy right now, man. You know, me and Austin have already created our goals. October is our planning period for the following year, and we already know what we want to do. We know what kind of strategic partnerships we have in place. We know exactly what, bro. I'm losing weight. I'm more calm than I've ever been before, and the pressure has never been. I've never had this amount of pressure. See, I realized that I have to. I gotta make sure my vibrational frequency is locked in the right way. This is the reason why I got the flower shirt on tonight with the wife beater under here with no background, because this is just a symbolization of me just doing a transition myself. And I'm glad you noticed it, Brian, because I'm making a real effort right now because I got a lot on the line, brother. And I refuse to let Austin down or anybody that's relying on me. Some people get in my position, they can't handle the pressure. I'm in therapy right now. I'm doing a lot of stuff for me so I can keep my head wired right, because I realize what the next step looks like. See, like a lot of people on this platform, Brian, just like even with you, we've had these kind of conversations before, just one-on-one, even on the phone when I've talked to you. I know that many of you are going to do really big things. You've got to be ready for that next level success. Brian, what you see in me, I'm getting ready for my next level of success. So I'm focusing on eating clean, drinking the right things, making sure I'm taking the right supplements, attacking disease on the cellular level. I got a responsibility to myself, man. And I know that I deserve what the next level looks like. And I want to be here for a long time to make sure that I can keep coaching and training until they snatch the breath out of my body. So I'm taking this serious on a whole nother level, brother. And I want to thank you for at least recognizing that you see me chilling. Right, you do. You see me with a background all the time. I said, you know what? I'm fading to black tonight. I'm fading to black.
You finished the job with the clear liquid. You still got the green and the purple one going on.
Hey, look, hold up, B. I finished my guava. I don't have any more of that left. Wait a minute. Hold up. I finished with the I had a little bit of another green one. So my pineapple juice, I got a lot of that left, and I'm almost done. This is beet juice right here. It tastes horrible. But guess what? I've been drinking it for so long, it actually started tasting sweet now.
Right.
Can you believe that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do the beet juice.
This stuff, man, keeps my blood pressure so low. This is organic, raw, natural beet juice. I used to despise this stuff. Now I drink one of these every single day.
There you go. There you go.
I'm doing the steps, bro. I'm just taking it one day at a time, but I've never felt better. But the reason why I'm doing all of this is because the pressure ain't never been as strong as it is on me right now. And everybody has to deal with that kind of performance pressure. And if you don't step into it the right way, it will destroy you. And I'll be damned if I'm going to destroy myself after I've come this far and I've worked this hard. It's not going to happen.
Well, you just pretty much told my story.
Yeah. Don't destroy yourself, Brian, because that's the reason why I'm in therapy. That's the reason why I'm meditating in a different way. I'm locked into a different kind of vibrational frequency. I don't know if you all even noticed it at Showcase. I was really managing my energy. The tone of voice that I'm in right now, Brian, that's basically how I was talking the entire time at the Showcase, because I didn't want to burn my voice out. So I had to manage my energy. I was still exhausted at the end of the day, man, but that was a long haul, bro. That was a long haul, but I'm used to doing it. I hadn't had to do it in a long time. So I was managing my voice properly so I could make sure I had enough energy so I could go to my debriefing dinner with Auston and his fiance and my wife at the end of the day, and I wouldn't pass out in my bowler suit. And that's exactly what I did.
I'll tell you, I connect with everything you said on so many different levels. And I believe this. Everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. And the reason for that is it happens.
Hey, look, man, that's right. Listen, you just gotta like Samantha was talking about just letting go. Sometimes we hold on too tight to our limited beliefs, but sometimes we don't even know what's waiting for us on the other side, but we don't want to let go because we're so comfortable where we are right now. And when you start disrupting shit, you know, like, who is anybody to tell you, Brian, of what you should be doing, what you should be wearing, what you should be speaking about, unless they're uplifting you and giving you some real advice. Like, I just don't listen to what other people say, man. I got my own thing going. You know, if you don't like it, that's okay. But I'm happy with me. I'm happy with the way I dress. I'm happy with what I did at show. I'm a prideful man, but I'm not too, I'm a proud man, but I'm not too prideful to listen to great advice. And when anybody says something that's going to uplift me, I'm like, hold up, what did you say? Life stops when somebody's trying to help you, keep you from destroying yourself, Brian.
Amen.
Sometimes we're our own enemies because we don't listen.
Amen. My coaching call this afternoon was just exactly what you're talking about. I experienced it. I had a woman yesterday tell me, Brian, really know what you're talking about, and I like what you're saying, and do this at the meeting, but leave the attitude home.
Yeah.
I got emotional. I had a little tear in my eye, and I thanked her. She was 100% right. See, I need to be called on my shit. If you think I'm doing something wrong, tell me, because Brian don't tell Brian the bad things about Brian.
Of course, we all do, Brian. Brian, hey, Brian, but watch this. It's nothing wrong with self-talk, brother. Because now watch this. It may not be self-talk, but I hear Austin's voice in my head every day.
Oh,
I hear some of my strategic partnerships in my voice every day. I hear my family in my voice in my head every day. When I realize that maybe I'm pushing it too far, maybe I'm out of control, maybe Kevin the Destroyer is on site and he wants to mess it up for everybody, I hear Austin say, you know what, bro? It ain't about that. This is the focus. This is to make the main thing the main thing. It's about us delivering service at the highest level possible. And then that gets the ego in check. And it helps me focus on what I'm supposed to focus on. I told everybody before the showcase, Brian, that I need to get to Roger. I told everybody before showcase, you don't need to be perfect today. Nothing here needs to be perfect. You just need to do what you do and let the production crew do what they do. And I'm going to do what I do. Now, however it comes out, I'm willing to deal with the consequences. Everybody was professional. Everybody was respectful. Everybody was patient. They all understood. Like when they got in the room, Brian, they were like, shit, this is what he's been talking about. This is what he's been preparing us for. Now I know why he acts the way he acts. And when you come to showcase, you're going to find out too. But you'll find out even before, because you're going to get access to see the whole sizzle reel of the entire event. Brian, don't destroy yourself, brother. You mean something to me. You mean something to us. And the world needs to hear your type of messaging. And the same thing is going to happen to you when you showcase as happened to everybody else to showcase. The real Brian Rehorn is going to show up at showcase and you're going to knock them dead. And I know that's exactly what you're going to do. And I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Talk to you real soon, man.
Yep.
Thanks for always showing up, adding value, and jumping back in there, being consistent when you need to. Roger Broussard.
ATR.
Hey,
Wow.
Roger, hold on. I don't want you to say anything. I want you to see what I'm holding up in my hand. Do you see this?
Yes, sir.
This is the book that you gave me.
Yes, sir.
And I always treasure it. I want to thank you for the gift. And I want to thank you for coming to showcase. And more importantly, I want to thank you for allowing me to have a brotherhood with you and all the kind things that you said right before we left. Real men are supposed to talk to each other like that. And I'm glad you always treat me with respect. And I appreciate you. What would you like to share on the platform this evening?
Well, I can't treat you with the respect that you deserve. We always talk about people wearing many hats.
Mm-hmm.
You did it literally and figuratively. You had a collection. I think you had more hats than the Pope.
Yeah, listen, man, it's just a vibe, man. I said, man, you know what? When I was picking out all my outfits, and this is the thing I like about when you got a sense of fashion. Whatever you want, whatever kind of look you want to pull off, man, they got it out there for you. And I just felt those outfits would represent me and my brand and what we were trying to accomplish. And that's what this life is all about, man. Putting on these different hats, you know what I'm saying? And I was happy
when you put on a different outfit with the hat and everything, you changed. You adapted the role of the costume you put on. And I would see you outside. I would see you during the wardrobe change, and I could see you relax. I could see you get drained. Man, watching you you were performing. You had so many roles, just watching you go from role to role, seamless. Wow, that was impressive. I mean, and you never lost your cool. At least we didn't get to see it, because there's a lot of things to keep going. You were juggling 15 bowling balls, a golf ball, a tennis ball, and a ping pong paddle. I mean,
hey Roger, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to whisper because we were in a controlled taping environment. If we weren't taping, I would have yelled it out loud. But I had to do it twice because one of the production guys in the back actually had their phone on, and the phone I heard somebody's phone start ringing, and they know better than that, But it may have been an honest mistake. But I was in the thick of the battle at the time, so I had to whisper and scream on somebody and tell them to cut their goddamn phone off. What is wrong with you? But I whispered it. So, I mean, hey, like Samantha said, I'm human. Come on, bro. We're in a recorded environment and I'm hearing your phone go off in the back. I got to deliver somebody speaking and I'm hoping that that's not on tape. So, It is what it is, man. Again, it never goes. Man, let me tell you something. That is a pressurized environment for everybody that was involved. So thank you for the observation that you saw that. Again, man, I take a lot of pride in what I do. And maybe now, because y'all got a chance to see that side of me and even saw that side of Auston, now you understand why we say do the things that we do.
Yeah, and that helped me a whole lot, helped me speaking, it helped me a lot of ways. But it somehow I came back here and I said, okay, I really got to fall in love with module 5. I got to really get this thing down. And I came back with a different focus. I came back and I don't know if it was seeing Auston, but it just seemed more clear. And I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I wanted to thank you for all that you did, putting all that together, putting out all that effort. I mean, I know what effort is, and I know a little bit about what acting is. And you deserve an Oscar and an Emmy.
Well,
that was tremendous.
thank you. And I alluded to that in module number 1, I believe it is, when we're talking about the mechanics of communication and also making sure that you get the performance piece right when it comes to speaking. Make no mistake about it, that's what it is. Right. So the training that I've taken over the years with voice, speech, modeling, acting lessons, on stage presence, camera presence, how to sell from the stage. This is why I've spent money taking over 276 plus personal and professional development seminars, from online courses to $30,000 boot camps. And I've taken all of this training and I've worked on myself, and then I go out and I practice it. And one of the things I think Michael Tower said he was gonna come on. Michael is OCD. You heard his story.
Yeah.
I've never been diagnosed with it, but I'm an extremist when it comes to detail. And I don't want to say I let go of the perfectionism a long time ago because it was way too stressful, but I am an absolute extremist and I'm very anal when it comes to detail. The reason why me and Auston get along in the category that matters most to me, because I burn out relationships because people don't pay attention to the details to my liking, and it's difficult for them to do business with me. Me and Auston are exactly the same way in that category. I've never met anybody like him before in my life. That's why I wanted to be business partners with him. Because all the shit, see, it's a lot of people on the internet, they're focusing on all the wrong stuff. They're focusing on all the wrong stuff. They got the wrong mindset. They got the wrong activity. They act like they know what's going on. They don't know shit. When I met Auston, he helped me understand what my focus really needs to be. You don't need to be, you're doing a lot of stuff right, but you don't need to be focused on these 50 things over here that I thought was right, but I was wrong. So when I said something one time, and Auston tells me, he says, no, I said to him, I said, well, this is the way I feel like it should be, blah, blah, blah. I gave him my opinion. He said, you're absolutely wrong. I said, well, tell it to me how it needs to be then. And then he explained it to me. I said, oh, that's what you want. That's the why. That's how it's supposed to be. Then I delivered it to him the way he wanted it. And I did it again and again and again and again. See, I like the repetitions. And you can't call yourself a master unless you I want to put the repetitions in. So that's all you saw when you saw me on stage. That's training. That's training. And I practice to be on cue like that, to read off the teleprompter, to hold my head back up, make a connection with the audience, swivel right, swivel left, stand dead center stage. When I move, I'm transitioning. I'm moving with purpose. Everything is strategic. Like, I don't think about it anymore, but that's all training. And that's in module 1, mind you. See, a lot of you are bypassing this shit like it ain't in there. I put it all in there. So go back and read it over and listen to it over and over again, and then start getting up and practicing a lot of it, because it's going to make you a better speaker. I'm making you a better speaker so you can earn higher fees. Because when you try that shit that's unprofessional on a meeting planner, who really, really book speakers at the high fee level, your check is going to suffer. I've been through it before. So you look at, if you learn something from look at KTR, damn, how does he do that? Training, practice, repetitions, going over and over and over again, where everybody else is tired of practicing and listening and looking at it again. Me, bro, how you think it's easy to manage a sales funnel with Auston? I had to learn a whole brand new business. But I did it. Watch this. Bro, he used to yell at me every single day. He would send me messages on my ass every single day. You know why? Because I didn't understand a piece of technology. I wasn't getting it to do what it needed to do. I wasn't managing my database the right way. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing that. But he barely says anything to me now. This shit is on autopilot. You know why? Because I practiced my ass off so I could get him off my back. That's it.
Yeah, the good thing about him, he said to me, you only have to learn it once.
He said, Auston said that to you about me?
No. He said learning the process, you only have to learn it once.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yes, this is what we're teaching you. Once you build it, the right messaging, sales tools, set up the business, start posting the right things on social media, like really understanding the why, set up all the automations, the sales funnels, you know, all the little software that you're going to need, and then get all your templates downloaded, man. It's a rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Pour in the towel with bleach, pour in some gain, set it on a press one button, boom. And now you're making money every single month. This is what we're teaching you. That's exactly what it is, Roger.
Okay.
But watch this. But if you fail to dig in, Eileen, I'll be right with you. If you fail to dig in and you fail to get the repetitions in, like we'll look at a sitcom 1,000 times. Oh, this is the episode of Martin when Notorious B.I.G. was on there. I've seen it at least 50 times myself. But then tell me, run down the episode of Module 5 like you can that episode of Notorious B.I.G. being featured on Martin that time. See, if you can do that, now you're retaining the information. You're putting it into motion. I've always been a person that loved practice. They used to call me Sergeant at Arms when I was in band. In my band practice, I was in a go-go band, an R&B top 40 band. I was in the orchestra. I'm used to working with a bunch of people. Everybody's got to play their part. My music teacher used to tell me, if you practice wrong, we're going to perform wrong. I never forgot that, Roger. When you practice wrong, you're going to perform wrong. We had to have an adjudicator judge our performance at State Band Festival. They give you like, what is it? Like they give you like 0 to 100 points. Man, we was going in there sight reading a piece and we was busting it out, getting a 98 or 100 at State Band Festival. That's not supposed to happen. You know why it happens? Because I got up in the face of all my 100+ piece band. And I told them, if y'all fuck us up when we go to State Band Festival, I'm kicking everybody's ass. And I was only like maybe 3 or 4 black people in the whole band. I was trying to fight everybody. I said, you better take that shit home and you better practice it because it meant something to me that we got a high score at State Band Festival. If you just practice more, ladies and gentlemen, with the tools that you have on this platform, it will turn you into a better entrepreneur, a better speaker, and more importantly, a better humanitarian. Roger, did you have any other questions or comments for me?
Yeah, I did a lot of practicing. How bad was I?
Oh, you want some feedback on your presentation? Well, I'm going to tell you, let's start with the good stuff that I liked about what you did. I like the fact that you gave me the same vibe that you give me when you do your national media interviews about the country of Haiti and you're promoting your book. You were very poised. You took your time. You know your stuff. Man, I love listening to a speaker that can take their time. You know, when you spoke, and a couple other people did this too, I got lost in, oh, he's only speaking for 10 minutes. See, because we had the timer up there and I wasn't keeping time myself. I wasn't worried about your 10 minutes, but I didn't feel like, oh, I forgot all about you was only supposed to speak for 10 minutes. You have such command over a subject, man, that most people just aren't that deep about. And then you put it in such a way, because you're passionate about it, you put it in such a way that makes it fun. You know, you're talking about history. History is intriguing, but history was always boring to me. History is like science. You know, you don't really get excited, but you have a way to get me excited. See, Auston has that same gift. He'll take technology, which is boring. It's just real. It doesn't have no flavor. But when I hear him say something, it's like, oh, that's what you're supposed to be doing? Oh, damn, that kind of sounds like it's not boring. That sounds interesting. Okay, let me go and look at this video. Let me go and read this post. Let me look at this article. And that's what I felt with you. I just felt like you just knew your stuff. Now, I will tell you this. So stage presence is really, really important. So we got to work on your stage presence a little bit. Watch this, Roger. Like I'm chilling right now, right? Watch what great happened to my body language. When I'm sitting down and I'm doing a presentation, then my body posture goes from here to this. You see it? Yes. So what we got to do, you gotta have a more robust shoulders back, chin is up, a more authoritative stance and a presence. You did a lot of weight shifting, which is like that. Like I can see your body language, and I'm not sure if that's just your posture, but when you shift your weight to the audience, it says, well, I'm tired. Or it's a negative body language. When you stand on stage, you're supposed to be planted, 2 feet firm on the ground, push your shoulders back, chin up, strong, authoritative posture. So we got to work on that a little bit with you. If you move, stage right, stage left, move, what they call it moving with purpose. It looks like you're going somewhere. Step into the phrase. Use more hand movements. Your vocal dynamics are very, very passionate. And if I close my eyes and listen to you, it is super believable. Now we got to get your body language into match your vocal dynamics. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
That's all you got to do.
You see something wrong, you say it, and I know you will. So I'm not worried about that.
Later, watch this. I know you're super humble and you're like, oh, I don't want to come on too strong. Fuck humble when you're performing, Roger. Give it to them. Make it feel like it's your last performance. Every single time, excuse me, I deliver something on this Q&A, I act like I'm not going to see you tomorrow. Because the fact of the matter is, we've had some of our clients that they have expired. We've lost some students in this pandemic. And I just talked to one of our students, Anthony Davis, not Dr. Anthony Davis, who's on live with us right now, but we got like 5 Anthony Davises. We got one Dr. Anthony from Florida. That's my man. We got one him, and then everybody's just spread out around the country. So it was an Anthony Davis that we had. I just spoke to Anthony literally the night before. He wanted me to follow up with him, and I called him, and his wife picks up his phone and tells me that he died in his sleep. Act like this is your last performance. That's why I talk to you the way I do, because I don't take anything for granted. I don't make assumptions. I go by facts. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. So, Roger, I need to improve. We're all going to get better all across the board, but you did an amazing job. See, I don't want to say anything to you that's going to get in your head. When I say give more, like you see how I'm gesturing with my hands right now?
Yes.
These are all things that I do unknowingly, right? You see that unknowingly. See, I didn't even know I did that. Vocal dynamics, I want you to work on that as well. The thing I love about your performance, you have the capability to bring your voice down to a whisper. But what you don't do is max your voice out. See, watch this. This is using the pitch, the resonance, the height, the accuracy, the cadence, timing. See, speaking is about timing, very much like comedian is about timing of when you deliver the joke or the punchline. Speaking is the same exact way. Acting is the same exact way. What I want to see you do, I want to see you get more robust at the top of your phrase. So watch this. So this is the part where you do very well. That the people from Haiti, blah, 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 blah. That America didn't even realize that Haiti was da, 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 da. But what you got to start doing is, ladies and gentlemen, did you realize that the Louisiana Purchase was the biggest real estate scandal in the world? And then what happened was,
Yes.
you see, man, when you could just add little things like that to your presentation, I'm already sitting on the edge of my seat like this when you speak. Damn, what's he gonna say next? But when you add those little things like that, man, it just puts it over the top. It puts it over the top. So that's what I want you to practice on. You got any other questions or comments?
No, sir. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Roger. Outstanding job. And listen, I'm going to get into the book this coming up weekend, and I will be sending you some questions about it because this is way out of my pay grade. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for being one of the best subject matter experts and making this experience all worth it. Eileen Peters Franklin. I just love saying her name. She's so graceful. Hi, Eileen.
KTR.
How are you?
I'm doing great, doing better after this weekend. And I want to say that we had an awesome time at the showcase. And I just can't imagine what the next showcase will look like if this was the first, because I know it's only going to get better. So I think with all the experience that we had there, it was just a pleasure meeting you and Auston. Mm-hmm. And I think the relationship between the two of you was the true highlight of the showcase, because you all have so many things and so many ways of bridging the gap. Mm-hmm. So I just having people that engaged in the showcase and sincerity, the being genuine, all the expertise, in different areas. I really enjoyed the showcase and certainly hope that everyone else will support it and be behind it.
Absolutely. Eileen, Sam is giving you some love, and I know I saw you and Bernice and Dr. J out there having breakfast like the morning after, I believe. And I came over there, and the camaraderie and the brotherhood and sisterhood, normally at events, Michael Towers talked about this as well. Normally when you go to events, people, other speakers and coaches, they're just kind of trying to sell each other their programs, or they're trying to out-talk each other. This is just what happens when you put a bunch of speakers and consultants and coaches in a room. But what you saw at the showcase, and I didn't know this was going to happen because you can't plan this kind of thing. But what I saw was people were making a real effort to not just say, oh, well, me and Eileen, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna talk amongst ourselves. No, then Eileen cut out and start talking to somebody else across the room, or somebody will come over to them. You saw so many different people making an attempt to make a real connection with each other and learn and benefit from everybody's expertise. I clearly saw the next morning as people were checking out. I know I bumped into a lot of you as you were leaving the hotel, and I clearly saw that a lot of you had a different kind of look in your eye. A lot of you had a fire under your ass. You were motivated. You were like, man, I gotta get back to work. Like, this is just the beginning. This is the kind of mindset that I really like seeing. Eileen, what I saw, and maybe you can touch on this as well, those were speakers that really, really want to live the dream. And some of them are even living it right now. And some of them have come to the realization that this is what I need to be doing more of. To comment about the level of like just passion that you saw in everybody's messaging. Like, that's what real speakers look like.
There was a lot of passion there. And I think the one thing that gives a person passion is confidence. You have to stand in what you believe in. And like you've been saying over and over, knowing your subject matter just launches a whole new speech for you. So when you can get that comfort and you can get the know-how to put it together, it just puts you in an entirely different area. So the passion for it is just really great, along with the confidence, and that's it.
Eileen, let me ask you another question. What did you personally, what did you get from showcasing? Because you've been on this journey with Speaker Focus for a while. What did you learn from showcasing personally about your journey moving forward?
I learned from showcasing that, once again, you're going to have to be serious. You're going to have to take into consideration not only what you do, but what other speakers do also. And you have to make sure that you stay focused on your topic, your subject matter, and you have to be the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there any other questions or comments that you want to share?
Feedback, just a little feedback.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to be sending out a couple emails about post-production and about your performance. I love the fact that you bought this can only happen to you when you develop a level of maturity in your craft. And I clearly see that you are very skilled at your craft. Like I knew you were. I told you this from the very beginning. You're very polished, poised, and professional. You are elegant, style, and grace in motion. And we appreciate you gracing our platform and the staging area. You know, there are certain words that match certain speakers, and that's what the meeting planner is always going to remember about you, because that's all part of your brand. See, that part of your personality comes through wardrobe and all of that kind of stuff. So you keep doing what you're doing. The areas where you need help with, we'll address those in a support ticket to you. And you just keep moving forward and doing what you got to do. When you get this footage back right here, you huddle up with you and your team so you can just get beyond that part. And we'll get you past that, just like we did Roger and many other students. And then we're going to help you develop the confidence so you can get into the marketplace and start booking more high fee gigs. Okay.
Thank you very much. And I got to get off the call, but congratulations to everyone that was there and had a really, really great time. Thanks.
Thank you, Eileen.
Bye-bye.
I appreciate you being a part of it. It would not have been the same without you. That's for sure. Okay, we got Rico McElroy, and then we got Vernice coming up. Okay, this is why we're here. If anybody else that did not showcase has any questions, we're not to the 8 o'clock mark yet. If you have any questions that you want to send to support, you know, let us know about something that you're struggling with. One thing I learned about everybody at Showcase is that I don't really like throwing the word motivated around, because nobody else can motivate you. But what I saw was people just, it hit them different. Showcasing hit them different. It was that I got to get my shit together moment. I saw that moment in every single speaker's face, because listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of y'all didn't think we was going to bring the heat like that. And that's okay. That's okay. But you didn't. Some of y'all did not think that what it was going to be. I'm talking about from the way I hosted, the way the production team bought it, the way Auston was going to be on stage answering questions, the way he and I interacted, the way the red carpet was set up, the questions that I was asking you, the Q&A. You didn't think it was going to be all of that. But see, this is what we've always done. We've always over-delivered, but I bet your ass understands now. So since you understand, now you're going to understand why we want your effort in every single module. Why do we want you submitting support tickets? Because we want to help. We want to help. We want you to get through the module, get to a whole nother level. Now, maybe you're sitting over there dormant right now. Maybe for some of you that are dormant, you need to call me immediately and swipe your credit card so you can showcase next, because maybe you can get off your ass like a lot of your colleagues did. Let me tell you something. A lot of people, they said, listen, it's difficult for me to showcase right now, KTR. I said, I'm telling you right now, you need to be here. This shit is going to change your life. What do you need me to do to work with you so you can be here on the stage? And I did it. I did it for the ones who needed the help, because it mattered more to me to have you on the stage. But let me tell you what's happening with January. Ain't gonna be no deals, because it's filling up too fast. And now I gotta have a second day, because I gotta have more speakers. So you can play games with me on this one if you want. You will be pushed out of the January event, and then you got to wait until February, or you might have to wait till March. I don't know. But maybe some of you need to showcase. Maybe you need to force yourself to showcase, because now you realize that, oh, damn, I got footage now. If you don't understand what happened, it was literally, Rico, I'll be right with you. It was literally an assembly line. We had a white backdrop up because the majority of the speakers at Showcase, not one of them, when I asked for a headshot, not one of them sent me a damn headshot with a white backdrop. Not one. So we took headshots at the Showcase. Red carpet line was over here to do your interview. You walked the red carpet slow, and then I interviewed you on the, I interviewed you first, then you walked the red carpet real slow. Next line you got in was the line with the white backdrop so you can get your headshot, where Will was over there taking them. Not one person left without getting their headshot or getting the red carpet. This was work. But see, now in your mind, you don't have to say, well, I don't have no footage in front of a live audience. I don't have any footage for my speaker video demo. I don't have performance shots in front of a live audience for my speaker info kit. I don't have shots with a white background, which I clearly state for you to have right there inside of the to-do list for your sales tool. But I bet you have it now. So now what's going to be your excuse? Because I don't want to hear it. You need to keep moving forward. And this is just the beginning. If you showcase, this is the beginning for you. I suggest you start getting all your goals together, start fast tracking to take over 2023. Rico McElroy, how are you, brother? Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you.
No doubt. How you doing? I'm good.
Man, I feel amazing.
I could tell it. I could tell it. I couldn't wait to hear the results of how everybody did for this past week. Of course, I text you that, and of course, from the excitement from the family, I'm excited about what's been said and how receptive they've been.
Hold on, Rico. Give me a quick second. Okay, Vernice just put something in the chat that I need her to jump. Vernice, do you have a couple minutes after Rico to jump back on? Can you put your hand back up, please? Because Vernice just said, so there she go. Okay, all right. I need to hear from Vernice because she just put something in the chat box that's really, really powerful. And I want to know why she put that in there, because everybody else you're playing games. I want to bring Vernice on to maybe tell you why you shouldn't be playing no games. Rico, go ahead and finish your question or comment, brother.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to share how powerful it was. I was excited about that, to hear the feedback. I did have a couple of questions, and of course, share a comment. I'll start with the comment first. One of the biggest things that you taught me was to, if something is not serving you, cut it off. Seriously. And one of the biggest things I did this week, this past weekend, and I talked to my oldest brother about it, who I've raved about to you. And we were having a discussion that sometimes the hardest thing about change is not the change itself, but actually leaving the people behind that are holding you back. Mm-hmm. This weekend, I actually cut off. I did my little emoji in a group of men that I'm with, good guys. Mm-hmm. But there's always one or two that can be draining. And so I was like, you know what? I put my little emoji with my do sign, my bald and beard sign. I put that up. And I was gone. I just dipped. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting calls like, man, why did he go? Why did he go? Like, I don't have to explain, man. Look, you don't have to make a lot of noise to leave. But sometimes you just leave and makes all the noise in the world. Yeah. And so it was really peaceful for me to let that go. Mm. One of the friends and guys called me today. He said, look, you didn't have to explain. I knew why you departed. Because I know he's working on something big. I said, absolutely I am. And I just don't have time to waste my energy anymore on things like that. And leads me to my point, or question number one. Mm-hmm. Someone you and I know here, when you came here and visit, he's on the platform, but he always brings this up to me. He's always shared some great things with me. Definitely even how I message on social media and all now. but he brought something to my attention, and definitely progress is being made.
Mm-hmm.
He was just saying like, hey, you know, I still haven't seen that beast come all the way out. And I was like, dang, man, I'm like, what is it I'm not doing? but I know he's there to help me, right? So so my question is to you, and you know me for about a year or so, and probably you've observed, from what he's saying, how can you, what way do you see that I could actually like kind of let that beast out and improve to a point where I'm gonna put it to you like this. When I let the beast out, you know what it's like? It's like Gerald Wilkins when he said, I'm the Jordan stopper.
Okay.
And Michael, and then Michael busted his ass for 43 and was like, you can't guard me. Like, then people are like, well, calm down. Well, that's how I am if I'm amped up. So my question to you is, you know, as a brother and mentor you are to me, how do you see that panning out for me to be like in that, like really in that beast mode, to where I care, but in a way it doesn't matter because I'm so focused, and I kind of have to work with a chip on my shoulder in a sense, but I don't mean to really make it be like I'm an a-hole. But when I get really ticked, you know, it's like almost like breaking a brick wall. So how do I take that and interpret that to let the beast out, even in what I'm doing, even with speaking, you know?
I believe what happens, Rico, to a lot of us, and I used to fall into this trap as well. You care too much about what they think. And not so much where like maybe about, you know, your style of dress or your hair or whatever, like not that, but you're still a super humble guy. And when you are in domination mode, there's very little space to be humble. If you look at the disposition of a king, these are things that I've been studying since the beginning of time. Kings don't apologize, even when they're wrong. You know why? Because they're in go mode. They're in leadership mode all the time. They don't care what the subjects are thinking about. I know it's wrong, but you either want to dominate shit or you don't. Now, when I'm in production mode, everybody at the showcase knew what they were supposed to be doing. I don't have to go around telling everybody what they're supposed to be doing because I have my own job at showcase. But I don't care what anybody in the audience is thinking. This is my show. I know what me and Austin need to accomplish here. So all my energies was going into making sure that happened. See, a lot of times, Rico, and you got to hear me on this, bro, because you need to reach a new level of liberation. You need to reach a new level of liberation. Because some people say, oh man, I don't care. Oh, I don't give a fuck. Well, that's just lip service. You got to not care, because you got two things that you can do. Kobe and Michael were different from any other player in the history of this game because they wanted to obliterate you, annihilate you, and they don't give a damn about your feelings. Jeff Van Gundy said Michael Jordan is a spy. Michael Jordan used mind games. He would go over there and make the players think, oh, we're going to have, Charles Barkley, we're going to have dinner when I come to Phoenix. And then he would dunk in their face and drop 50 points on them. So Stan Van Gundy called Michael Jordan an assassin. He said he uses trickeration, misdirection. But what do you think warfare is? So you need to focus more on strategies of war and how to win by attrition. See, you're a nice guy, and the way you were raised is still thinking you want to be buddy-buddy with everybody. But when you start breathing this air that I breathe and Austin breathes, ain't no friends on this level.
Right.
I get on my knees every day and thank my maker in heaven.
Yes, sir.
That I got Austin as a business partner. Because when you put your name on a dotted line, when you give somebody access to your money and all your passcodes, I trust this man with my life and vice versa. And our families trust each other. We trust each other with our families' lives. When you get in that deep with somebody, you better know who you're doing business with.
Right.
But we're different, but we're the same. See, you got to have that assassin mindset. Listen, bro, it's real simple. Save your balls and your brains for business. Save your compassion, your love, and your tenderness for your family, because not everybody deserves that. You got to stop giving people the compassion and the tenderness who don't deserve it, because they're eating you alive. You got to make some hard line business decisions. And if you want to build this business, it's going to take you to get rooted in it like you've never been rooted in it before. It's going to take you to experience a level of discomfort, Rico. And it is uncomfortable to cut ties with a bunch of people that you think you need. See, all of them people making you feel good right now, they putting any money in your pocket?
Nope. That's why I let them go.
Are they teaching you how to make more money in the studio? Are they teaching you how to book more speaking engagement? See, it comes real simple to me. Because when I finally reached a point where I knew I couldn't get up the mountain with the people that was hanging on me, it was one of the most hurtful days of my life. See, what you got to do, you got to get past the hurt. And if you want to cry, go to your wife. That's what I do. When you want to cry, go to a real good friend who's not going to throw it back up in your face. Somebody you could really, really trust. Or, you know what? When the shit gets real thick, bro, I'm in therapy. Because I got the walls is closing in on me, and I don't want to feel resentful to other people. And in order for me to keep my shit wired tight, I need somebody else who's not in the battle with me to give me some coping strategies so I can manage my situation better. That's hurtful when you have to tell people that you love, you can't be a part of my life anymore. And sometimes you don't even have to tell them, you just need to show them. You're too nice, Rico. That's a problem. It always comes back to bite you in the ass. So it doesn't mean you need to be mean or the asshole. All I'm saying is sometimes you got to be the walker and sometimes you got to be the talker. Sometimes you know how to walk. You got to know how to walk away from a situation. And sometimes you got to know when to close your mouth and don't say nothing. You don't owe them shit. I got a handful of people in this life that I feel like I owe something to. But I provide service and bust my ass for the ones I love and my clients every single day. So you ain't gonna never step to me talking about what I didn't do. Because I take too much pride in who I am as a human being first. A father, a husband, a business partner, a coach. I take too much pride. And you ain't gonna be looking at me sideways, putting me in the same category as you do with everybody else, because it happens to me every single day. Some people didn't think we was going to put on the showcase the way we did, but I bet you know now. See, I'm not here to convince you of anything. Rico, you got to get out of that energy. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody. When it comes time to kill the dinner and put it on the table, you can't have no apprehension about what you put inside your crosshairs. Some people do, and that's why they're not the trigger man. Am I making sense to you what I'm saying?
A lot. That's why I was big enough to talk to you about it. And I started off with that, how I had to cut off from that situation.
Yeah.
I had to cut off from that particular, because, you know, I did it at first before I cut off. Where I normally would be quiet, I actually got a bit more, I got a bit more feisty. Because, you know, when I get feisty, people are like, man, dang, slow, man, calm down. I'm like, no, you should have done it.
You had to get spicy on somebody. You got to get spicy on them sometimes. That's just a fact. Hey, remember, Rico, Bernice, I do see you right there. I'll be right with you as soon as Rico wraps up his comment. Remember, Rico, everybody want to be the killer until it's time to pull the trigger. And everybody want to talk until it's time to be the speaker. See, there's a different, talking and speaking is two different things. I kill what I eat. I'm the trigger man. I don't mind pulling the trigger. Make a decision and stick to it and have no reservation. See, if you're going to be the trigger man, then you can't let the demons come visit you at night because you just made a kill. I sleep good at night. And I got them in the kill zone every single day. Don't play games with me. I make it clear up front. It's real simple with me. I like you or I don't like you. I make everything real clear. If you break me off with some disrespect, you ain't never got to worry about dealing with me ever again. You want to play games with me? Go do that on somebody else's time. I don't have the time and you don't have the skill. I make it clear with everybody. You always know where you stand with me. I'm here to help you and support you. And if you can't see that, then we don't need to be doing business. You don't deserve to be in my life. See, the circle that you have is so small of the people that actually deserve to be there. You just got to decide who at the circle wants to be there. And that's the reason why those people get special treatment and everybody else is on the outer circle of love, and you treat them as such. That's it, bro. Hard line business decisions. Remember what I said. When it come time to be the trigger man, don't lose no sleep. Let me move on to Bernice.
10-4. All right, sir.
Keep doing what you're doing, brother. I don't see you doing nothing wrong, but haters got a problem with it. You know why? Because they trying to figure out, well, I don't understand why Rico is making all this great content. Now he's trying to be a speaker. I don't get it. He's doing too much. No, they're not doing enough. Vernice, how are you?
Woo. This was therapeutic. I'm doing well. Hello, KTR. Hello, Austin. Hashtag Austin is a real person. Hello, everyone. I just had
I'm sorry, Bernice, before you get into your question or your comment, could you just address what you put in the chat? Vernice said, yes, force yourself to showcase, exclamation mark. Could you expound on that, please?
So if you're having any hesitation, because I was having hesitation about doing the showcase, but I actually see the value from a production standpoint. And I truly believe that this is a thing that will move the needle for me, not for where I am, but for where I'm headed. And let me just say this, I'll just share this with everyone. I've had, I believe, 31 speaking engagements this year. So I've been in front of tiny crowds, I've been in front of big crowds, but only one time did I have someone do a video recording. And there's so much value in getting this. It's just, it was a phenomenal experience. It was a phenomenal experience, and I see the vision, KTR. Even from your production team, from a production standpoint, I see the vision, and like I said, it will move the needle for where I'm going, for where I'm headed.
I appreciate it. And I said this to you, excuse me, before I made your introduction, and my head went down, and I was reading off the screen. You know, Vernice, it means something to me that I understand that you're a serious business professional. And I saw my mother work like 10 women. And me and Austin have always been super big on supporting women and, you know, not just giving a lip service. You know, it means something to me when I see a business professional of your caliber, or Samantha, or many women. I have to draw a clear line in the sand of how you understand how we want to work with you. And the fact that we have these kind of special relationships with all of you, it means the world to me, because it's not easy when it's not easy for people to get me and Austin's business. So when we drop 50K on a mastermind, that's not easy for us to spend that money, because we're not tripping on the shiny objects. But when we realize that they're doing something that could help us, then we spend the money very happily. So that's the kind of client that we've always wanted, because you should be careful where you're spending your money, because the majority of the people can't deliver on what they say they can deliver. Unfortunately, that's just part of the internet, but it's not everybody. There are a lot of great programs out there like ours, not in our industry. Nobody even comes close to delivering what it is that we have in our curriculum, our platform, our Monday Q&A, accessibility, whatever. It's going to take them 50 years to figure out what we're doing, because they just aren't built like that. So when somebody like you, your level of professional, and I call it high level of professionalism, when a woman is out there holding her own with the men, the level of respect that I have for many women on our platform is at a high level, because of the way they conduct themselves. And that is not an easy client to onboard onto your platform, because these women ain't playing no games, right? And I know, Vernice, without us ever having to butt heads, we've been very respectful with our words, with the way we talk to each other, but you've always allowed me to be straight with you, and you're straight with us. We always know where we stand with Vernice Cooper. So I appreciate you showing up at Showcase and delivering the value that you did, because let me say this about you and your performance. You could clearly see that you have stage experience when you did your performance. You could clearly see that you knew what you were talking about, and they might not have videotaped that. And by the way, Vernice, don't worry about that. I have hundreds of standing ovation performances that I received that is not on videotape. If I think about it right now, I just get pissed, but I wasn't in production mode, social media management mode like I am right now. But you could clearly see in your performance that you are, I mean, it's there. That's a professional speaker that's on stage right now. It wasn't motivational. It wasn't all, let me fluff you up with some BS. It was just a game. I just was sitting there when a lot of you were speaking, and I just couldn't even believe what I was watching. And if I had any part to play in you delivering a more polished presentation, I mean, hey, me and Austin, we'll take that every day of the week. What's your other question or comment that you wanted to share? I just wanted to get that out the way, because we just appreciate the type of client that you've been with us. That's all.
Thank you. Well, first, my comment is that you can definitely use my video, because I already saw my own areas of opportunity to do better. That was my first time presenting that material, right? That's brand new. It's still not approved. It's still not KTR approved. So it's still on the KTR rejection list. But I was just presenting it anyway. My question is, will we get the written feedback from a stage presence, or even content feedback from you all, even if it's just written?
Yeah.
Because I like to have it written so that the next time, right, I'll be back on another stage in 2 weeks.
Nice.
And so I like to have that feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the written as well. That way I really get a chance to, look at my, put my thoughts into, I can organize my thoughts. And when I'm in post-production and I'm looking at, and we're in the editing session, and I start taking on the aura of what we need to accomplish to get you your video, and we start filing through the footage, then it'll help me. I'm just trying to go off of memory right now about how you made me feel, right? People may forget what you say, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. I remember the way you made me feel. You made me feel like I could do what you were requesting. You also made me feel like you were strong in your presentation without being too salesy, making it too much about the meeting planner. And I really felt inclusive with your presentation. That's a gift that you have. Clearly, it's a skill that you have, and that you've been working on it. And I knew that with you coming in. See, this is where we all are, Vernice, and we all need to take pride in the areas where we do very well. So we don't have to put any effort into that. Your brand, your professionalism, your attire, the way you present yourself. You're a consummate professional. I don't have to say anything to you about that. What I want to do, and now that I know you have stage presence and I know you are, booking engagements on a regular basis, now what we got to do is we got to go back and say, okay, what aren't you doing that well? Okay, let's polish up your messaging a little bit. Let's give the messaging more structure, which we've helped you do. Let's help her with negotiating, because maybe the sales part feels a little bit uncomfortable. Let's build the speaker growth engine where we can get the automation set up. See, there's like 50 things you're doing really, really well. And then there's like 50 things we're horrible at. So our goal is, excuse me, to give you more level of comfort on the things in the areas where you're horrible when it comes to managing your speaker business. This is why we're here. And we're dedicated and committed to helping you do that part, because I realize what happens when you don't have confidence in those other areas. You're just gonna not give it any attention. So we're here on the Q&A and the support that when you don't want to give it attention, you can expect a little call from me. You can expect for me to give you a little reminder. I mean, this is what I love to do. And Auston loves to do this as well. And anybody that works with us has got to understand what the vision is, or you're simply off the team. Because I don't have time to waste to be explaining to you about the value, high value, that I want to deliver to my clients every single day. Because that in itself, with each of you, is work. This is how we make our money. We make our money on the Q&A and on answering support tickets. Because what's the point if you don't give the person the direct feedback? And more importantly, Vernice, watch this. And this is where I see a lot of you that got coaching programs, you need to really listen to me right now. You don't have the best relationships with your client base, and that's why you can't get them to do what you want them to do. Ow! That hurts. See, if you have better relationships, if you knew each one of your clients and your students is different, you got to manage people a certain kind of way. So I manage my relationships with you because I know that many of you are going to blow up and do big shit. And I want to be associated with you when you get bigger. Why wouldn't I? You might want to come ask me to speak at one of your events. Some of you may be like, KTR, be honest with you, I'm doing my first event, but I don't really have no budget. I know I can't pay your $50,000 for the keynote, but I feel you in here and you feel me in your heart. And you got a great relationship with me and Auston. So when it's time for me to deliver for you in a whole nother way that you may think I won't do, oh, those are the people who be like, yeah, I'll waive the fee and come speak at your event. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. See? Many of you think maybe I won't do that, but I will go above and beyond for you because one day down the road, you're going to need me to. Now, we got a horrible relationship right now. How you think I'm going to do that for you? And how am I expecting out of you to do it for us if I don't manage my relationship with you and I don't lead you exactly where I know it is that you need to be, even if you feel like you ain't ready to go there? And you got to have a good enough relationship with the client, Vernice, that when they don't want to go, hey, Sam was brave enough at the beginning of the Q&A to say, hey, no, hey, Vernice, how does Kevin Hart say? No, I'm not ready. No. Sam just said straight up, she wasn't ready to surrender, but she just let it all go and showcase. And I know what that feels like. I'll be like, nah, bro, that feels, no, I'm not, I ain't ready for that level of accountability. You know why? Because you ain't ready for that level of responsibility. See, that's what it comes down to. So I don't give a damn if a lot of you think that you aren't ready for it or not. I see beyond where you see right now as your speaker marketing coach. I take my directions from the Most High, and then I work for Auston. See, because everything he's ever told me to do turns into money. So you think I'm gonna do anything to mess up my relationship with my partner? You can forget that. So it doesn't matter where you feel like you can go. I know you can go farther than where you are. And Vernice, did you find that out at showcasing?
Oh, I did. I discovered some things about myself.
Did it feel a little uncomfortable sometimes?
Oh, very uncomfortable.
Okay, let me ask you this, Vernice, because I need you to help somebody else on this platform understand, because clearly you have raised your level of consciousness about who Auston is, the real Auston, who I am, the real KTR. Do you understand why did I manage my time with all of you the way I do now? Like, did it hit different when you went to showcase? Like, why is like KTR be ODing sometimes? Why is that little vein popping out of his forehead the way it is? Do you understand more why now since after you showcase?
Absolutely. And I finally see the value in the very lengthy messaging, right? Not that we could even express it in 10 minutes, but the more messaging you have, the more value you have, the more value you add. That's really huge. This is university
Yes.
level stuff.
Yes,
So
it
I'm
it
excited.
it matters. It matters. And for a business professional like you, who's already got some stage experience, already delivering massive value to the client, man, it just, you know, and Vernice, this is the amazing part, because where you are right now in your career, I remember when I had that breakthrough. Like, you've taken Dr. Cheryl Wood's mastermind and you've invested in other coaching. You're in some other quality coaching program. Dr. Cheryl is my colleague. She has a solid program. Where she comes from, it's from a real place. It's a lot of these other women out here is just fluffing you up, but that's a solid mentor right there. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she provides solid mentorship. So I remember I was right where you were. Like, I had just got my taste of my first solid coaching program, next level marketing, some real mentorship I could rely on, even though they weren't around as much as I needed them to be, but they told me enough and I was able to soak it up. And then I took this is what made me go from 25 and 30 engagements a year to doing over 50. See? And then I just kept ramping it up. And then what I started doing when I hit 2007, 2009, 2010, like that, I started offering less dates for more money. So I start upping my fees. See, you're to the point right now, and I need you to hear me on this. Excuse me. You have enough experience and you're actually good at what you do. You should really be considering charging 10,000 or maybe even 15K for your keynote. And you should consider doing that very, very soon. It's all in how you negotiate it and manage it, but your brand is strong enough and you're a good enough speaker where you can command those kind of dollars. And if I were you, that's what I would be looking at in my entire 2023 campaign. Whenever somebody rolls across my desk, I'm busting people in the head for 10 to 15,000. Let's start from there. Am I making sense? Vernice, you still there? I think I lost her. Hello, Vernice. I think she has the mute on. Vernice, did you go to the refrigerator or are you talking to somebody else?
I'm driving, so that's why you keep going in and out.
No problem.
I'm doing kid pickups. You know, it's early still in California.
Exactly. Okay, so did you hear what I said?
Yeah, about taking that fee up. That's the goal in 2023.
Okay, good. So let's focus more on helping you learn to negotiate better, understanding what you're offering, understanding the marketplace, and getting your messaging to the right target buyer who will book you at that level. And it's pretty amazing right now because they're not going to just give it to you because everybody's is all about diversity, equity, and inclusion now. You can check the box off, but you got to actually deliver value, but you're delivering that already and you're finding a better message. So you should really consider charging more money. Like, there's some speakers that are not ready at the level that you are right now, but you're ready to take out the box in a whole nother way. Now, we've seen breakthroughs like this on our platform all year long. Charlene Giselle from France just booked her first speaking engagement for $5,000 USD. You know, she's on fire. See, activity equals productivity. You had 31 plus bookings this year. Activity equals productivity. You're coming off a showcase, you got better content, and make it mandatory for this next event. They need to get their little fake ass video crew together and get you some content. Even if you got to pay somebody there, don't ever do an engagement where you're not getting some content. You'd be surprised what your camera phone can do, even if it's not a full-blown production. Or you can just hire an intern sometimes for one of the local colleges. Call up the local newspaper. Call up a small newspaper. Tell them that you're doing an event and tell them what the cause of the event is. Tell them I'm real big on mental health and da-da-da-da. Would you be interested in a story like that? You'd be surprised at how many local newspapers would just come down and do a story on you. And they're going to take what? Pictures.
That's good.
See? That's how you keep the bag of microwave popcorn popping. And that's what we want for you right now. Vernice, you're at a real critical stage of your career. You can either stay dormant and you could do another 30 gigs this year coming up, or you can ramp it up and take it to another level and be charging more and speaking less. How about doing 30 next year and be charging 10 grand per? That's adding $300,000 worth of revenue to your business model. Would that make you just a little bit more happy or fulfilled?
Just a little tiny bit.
Okay, well, we're into.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah, we're into exit strategy and transitioning off your job. If that's what you want to do, we are here to help you do that. See, this game is real. This internet is real. It levels the playing field for all of you who think you were undervalued, think that you were discriminated against, think that no one loves you and there's not a place for your messaging. I'm here to tell you that you're wrong, because the internet makes it possible for your brand to reach all four corners of the globe, and we fully intend on helping you get there. Vernice, was there any other questions or comments that you wanted to share?
No, I just wanted to congratulate the inaugural group who spoke at the Speaker Focus Showcase. Everyone did wonderful and inspired me on my journey as well. Thank you. Thank you to you and Austin.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of our history. And Austin, would you come on for a second? And we're going to close the call in a couple more minutes. I got some audio from you, bro. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Austin, can you just leave us with some parting shouts? Your thoughts about Showcase, any observations that you saw from the students, maybe to prepare them for the next showcase as we're ramping up. Any thoughts that you want to share?
Yeah, I think everyone did an incredible job, and the stories that everyone shared were so inspiring. And yeah, I thought it was just an overall amazing experience. I think for everyone that's thinking about doing it for the next one, I think it's such a crucial investment for your speaking career. The content, think about this going to the showcase as an investment and an asset that you're going to use for, you know, the next 5-10 years, maybe the rest of your career. The content that you're going to get from that is an asset that you can use to leverage to get more speaking engagements. And really you can, you know, one amazing demo that we're going to create for you will make you hundreds of thousands of dollars in speaking gigs. So it's such a low investment for the ROI that you're going to get for it, that I think everyone should be considering doing it. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, really proud of all of our students' performances, and I learned so much, and I'm excited for the next one in January.
Absolutely. You know, you saw Austin and his fiance up front. They were taking notes. I was taking notes when I could in the back in between my hosting duties. And, you know, when I was looking at the other speakers get mic'd up, it was pretty amazing. And, you know, every day you get up, you're making history with your business. And for myself, Austin, and our entire production team and everybody on our staff, everybody, our support staff, they really, really work hard. We really want to thank you from the bottom of my hearts for trusting us with your speaker dream, and also just being cooperative, patient, and professional, and making this part of our history one of the biggest milestones that we have ever had in the history of our working relationship. When you come together as a family and you want to serve people at the highest level possible, that rubs off on everybody and it's contagious. We urge you to do that with your clients, with the people that you have to serve in your audience. And we're going to continue to make sure that we do this at the level that you deserve to be served. And we want to thank all of you for coming on the Q&A. I know I had a couple specially invited guests on the Q&A from some people that's thinking about joining our coaching program. I wanted you to understand what our world was all about. MJ Stevenson, Damian Fitz. Damian, I want to thank you as well. We had a solid call earlier in the day, and Damian added massive value. He's worked on The Price is Right before. He's worked on the Johnny Carson show before, gave me all kinds of insights about how to add more production value. He drove from Maine to the event, not even in our coaching program yet. We want him to join, but that gentleman really understands how to bring value. He told us things that we can improve on and be better. And I took he's going to send me an email of his observations. His knowledge base is so great at what he knows how to do. And see, this is what happens when you start living your dream and you're committed to the assignment. People start coming out the woodwork to help you, of help you didn't even think you were going to get, that you actually need. And if you listen to the right people in this world, you're going to be elevated in ways you couldn't even possibly imagine. On behalf of myself and Auston and the entire team at the Speaker Focus exclusive showcase, we are so happy that you were with us, and thank you so much for tuning into another Monday Q&A call. We'll see you next week. I got emails coming. Keep sending those support tickets. Listen, finish the year strong and dominate 2023, because it's almost here and we want you to be prepared. I love you. I'll catch you next week.